Hi, I am Rani Nurhayati, and now I would like to do kind of material evaluation. And the first step in material evaluation is giving questionnaires to the learners. And here I am in the class with the learners. Say hi, the learners. And they are filling the questionnaires about the material evaluations. Okay, please do the questionnaires. Answer your questionnaires. Okay, it is based. The material evaluation is based on the book of for grade 12. Okay. Okay, you may. Okay, and this is the book from the government, and the teachers, all the teachers in Indonesia use it for grade 12. And the students, have you finished? Okay, collect the questionnaires, please.
Guys. Hey, guys.
Okay, thank you thank you for your help to fill in the questionnaires. Okay, thank you all. Okay, thank you all. Bye. Yeah. And now I am here with my partner. Yeah, Miss Atin, and then she is doing kind of peer evaluations on this kind of book. And then I would like to interview my partner here. Miss, do you like the book as a whole?
Yes, of course. When I saw the first book, especially for the 10th grade, it's too long and it's not really interesting. And when I find this book, I think that this book is easy to become material for teaching and learning. This is a book that I think the kind of book that we can use it in the class. I think like that. You agree with that?
Yes, I'm sure. And do you like the format?
The format, yes, of course, yeah, because we have no difficulties to apply it. So the format is really good for me as the teacher and apply this book in the 12th year of school or senior high school.
Okay, we have some opinion with that, yeah, Miss. And then how about the objectives? Are they specific?
Yes, of course.
Measurable?
Of course.
Achievable?
Yes.
Result oriented?
Of course.
Time bound?
Yes, I think so, because I think this book is, I want to say this book is really interesting to teach.
Okay. And how about the content? Is it relevant to the needs of the learners?
Yes, because it is easy understood by the student.
Interesting?
Yes.
So to the literacy level of learners?
Yes, for the 12th grade, I think.
Easy to teach?
Of course.
Of course, yes. Okay, so the teaching it is about the teaching learning process, yeah. Is it relevant to the learning objectives?
Yes. All the base competence.
Based on the
yes,
basic competence,
basic competence are in this book. Okay.
And then the participatory.
Yes, the student can involve asking question or answering question. Yeah. In this book is provided.
Is it interesting?
Of course.
Of course. So to the adult learners?
Yes.
Easy to follow or to teach?
Definitely. Yeah.
Are the materials and supplies attractive?
Yes.
easy to prepare.
Yes, and duplicate. But for duplicating, I'm not. What is it? I haven't tried it, yeah, because. But I think it is easy, yeah, to duplicate, right?
Yeah. How about the time allotment? Is it right?
Right.
Too short or too long?
No, too short.
It is not too short.
Too long? No.
It is not too long also. Yeah. Okay. So how about the activities? Is it easy to follow
Yes, of course.
and participatory?
Yes, it's involved the student and teacher activities here.
Interesting.
Yes.
Relevant to the learning process.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So what is your suggestion to improve the material?
Okay. After I read this and learn about this, study about these books, so I do not find listening materials. Yeah. So this need to be included to this book, listening material, and also the audio for the English teacher, so we can use and apply the listening project or the listening teaching in our class.
Yes, that's true. There's no listening part yet in this book. So, what are your suggestions to improve the teaching learning process?
Okay, I think that because the model is not really clear, perhaps the step of the model or methods, yeah, in that book should be clearly say in that book. So I hope that this book will write the model and methods to be applied in the classroom. So the teaching and learning process will be more interesting than today or than now. Okay, I think.
Okay, and the last question, Miss.
Yes.
How would you rate the materials as a whole?
Actually, this is very satisfying. Yeah, even though the listening still not there. Okay, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Miss.
Thank
you for your time.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, those are the two steps in material evaluation, and now I'm going to tell you about the third step. It is about the revision step, and then from the result from the learners questionnaires from about 160 students of grade 12 that I teach, 80 to 95% said that this book is related to their learning objectives. So the title is representing the content of the materials, the size is adequate, the visual is attractive, language and vocabulary level is appropriate, the content is relevant, informative, interesting and useful, and this book is easily to be understood. So, but the rest of the students, or 5 to 20% of them, bear a slight different opinions, which are ranging from somewhat or less. No student said not to each point. And at point number 9, many students would like to have more drills and practices from this book to more improve their English competence. And the result from peer evaluation, my colleague respond that she likes this book, the format as a whole as it is complete, so to the learning objectives achieved. Its content is relevant to the needs of the learners and interesting, but it is quite not suited to the adult learners. The activities invite students participatory and relevant to the learning process. However, she finds that it needs some improvement regarding to the drills or exercises for improving the students' language competence. So the improvement points: more drills and exercises on the book to improve students' language competence. This book is interesting but not very interesting. This book is needed to be improved in the point of its visual, interesting activities that invite students' active skill. And how to revise it? The teacher can add some exercises to improve the students' competence. The teacher can add extra teaching media with have interesting visual that appropriate to the learning objectives achieved, such as related materials, audio or videos. So the conclusion is, the finalizing is, this book can be used for teaching grade 12 as it fills the four principles in materials evaluation, such as it corresponds with the learner's need and fit to the course goals and objectives. It uh, equips the learners to use language effectively for their own purposes as personal, professional, or academic. It facilitates learning process with varieties of topics and activities. It supports and mediates between learners and the target language. And now I want to continue to the material selections. In selecting teaching materials for grade 12 students, I would like to ensure that the materials has met the learning objectives and activities. I will try to do the material selection on English book for grade 12 students. It will be focused on the criteria for selecting materials. And the criteria for selecting materials, as we know from the module, is we base this criteria on language form such as grammar, vocabulary, and language skill, listening, speaking, reading, writing, methodology, learners need, guiding principles, procedure for teaching and learning, students' role and study skill, and the last one is the non-linguistic aspect. Okay, as we know that criteria for selecting materials, the first criteria is about language form, and then I make a list of some questions dealing with the grammar. If all the questions are answered, and then all the materials has the grammar items, in the materials presented in the materials and correspond to the course objectives and presented for easy learning, balanced form and use. So I decide to select the materials for my grammar teaching, as it is not in a large portion of whole material, and it is integrated in the other part of language form and skills. And when it is dealing with the vocabulary, if this materials has enough vocabulary for teaching purposes, presented in communicative way, and enable students to develop their vocabulary, so I decide to select this material for my vocabulary teaching, as many practices and drills on vocabulary which learners need. And the second criteria is about language skills, and this book does not have a listening part. The listening materials is not set in meaningful context, and there is no video materials for listening in this book. So I decide to not select this material to teach listening skill, as the materials does not support the listening, learning, and activities. So I should find another material for teaching listening skills. And about speaking, the material in this book does not emphasize on spoken English, but practice material is included in this book and presented in the form of dialogue and role play. So I decide to select some of the materials and will add some others to teach speaking skill based on the time provided in the class. And about the reading skill, this book has a focus on development of reading skills, linked to the other skill, and the text, authentic enough. And I decide to select this book to teach reading skill, as it suits the reading learning objectives. And about the writing, this materials is encourage the learners to review and edit their writing, and but it does not emphasize on accuracy. So I decide to select the materials to teach writing skill, although it needs some addition in available writing samples. And about the third methodology,
concerning with the learner's needs. The material is sensitive towards students' need in order to learn, and it suits to the students' need. The guiding principle also, but the material is not implemented in inductive way, and grammar points are not really presented clearly. And about the students' role, the materials expect active input from learners, but does not relate to the students' experience. And about the study skill, it is included in the material, but yeah, and there is also clear guidance in learning process in this material. And the fourth criteria is about non-linguistic aspects. So although this material in this book is interesting enough for the students to learn and has characters in the materials exist within the students' social network, but the local content is not attached into the materials yet. So the teacher should find another local content to be attached into the books.
And the conclusion is this book is ensured to be well-selected materials, and it is able to facilitate students' achievement of learning objectives. It supports language forms and language skill required except for the listening skill, methodology, and non-linguistic aspect. However, it does not facilitate listening skills, so the teacher needs to find other materials to support listening teaching. And in addition, the teacher also has to find materials related to local content, since curriculum 2013 needs the teacher to put some local content into their learning and teaching activities. And the last one is about material adaptation is conducted to the materials that seem relevant to the course, like the English book for grade 12 above. To conduct materials adaptation efficiently, there are some techniques, procedures, and way of conducting materials adaptation. I will try to adapt the materials, focus on one topic which is taken from the book for 12th grade students, using techniques for adapting the materials such as plus, minus, or zero, to fulfill this need for a specific program or students to maximize the appropriateness of the materials when they are used in the classroom. It will be shown in the table.
Okay, for the material adaptation, I would like to take an example of one topic about the application letter. And if the materials in this book just contains about the definition of application letter and also the structure, the generic structure of application letter, which consists of introduction, the body, and the closing of application letter, the teacher should adapt the materials by using add or plus technique, by adding some exercises to maximize the students' understanding on the structure of application letter, like shown in the table here. It will make clear. It will make the point clear to the students. And then if the materials in the book just contain the example of application letter, one example of application letter, the teacher can give some example of application letter before discussing the example of application letter in the book. Or the teacher can add some exercises as an introduction to the job position available in the Word by asking the students to make a job mapping like this, like an engineer, a librarian, farmer, teacher, and etc. And then the teacher also can build the students' vocabulary dealing with application letter by giving the students some exercises, some like shown in the table here, and it will vocabularies as well.
And then the conclusion of this material adaptation is, okay, the second way of material adaptation, I will start with the profiling the students are and what language components and skills are expected to be mastered. The grade 12 students had to master 9 basic competencies that had already set in curriculum 2013. This book has corresponded with these competencies needed, included the language forms and language components except in listening skills. The listening skill is listening in the unsupported materials, and the rest is listening along with their correspondent course goals and objectives. The listening skills will be adapted to meet course goals and objectives. The teacher can find the materials from other available sources. I will then do the evaluation on the materials, search the what sources are available, go to library and pick up some to be added to the material needs, and I will implement it in my teaching to see what works and what does not. If something does not work accordingly, I will do another adaptation, evaluation, and listing again in cycles. Okay, I think they solve the process of material evaluation, material adaptation, and materials selections. Thank you for your attention. See you